Hi, it's Iain from RTO here. You're just about to watch the Stiff Top 10 with myself, Richard and Mike. Now, towards the beginning of this video, there were some connection problems, I think, at Richard's end, so it goes a bit blurry and freezes. So I do apologise for that, but we're not going to cut it out because it would spoil the video. So bear with it, and it does get better. Enjoy the video. Enough of my flannel. Let's join me and my two mates. Bye for now. Greetings, it's Iain from RTO. Welcome to another Saturday video session. Although this one's going out on Sunday because I'm going out tonight. So we've got Richard and we've got a very special guest star this week. Well, it's a special guest, but you see him every week. It's Mike. Hello, Mike.
Yeah. This should be fun.
Yeah. You know, Mike, we've been on screen so many times, but we've never actually made a video. Apart from
not.
No,
right. I think you're right. We haven't, apart from little record fair thing.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
so this
yeah.
Is one.
Correct. You have. You did the vinyl tag.
Yeah, the vinyl tag. Yeah, okay. But this
yeah. Well, we all did that, didn't we? Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So today, this was very close to Mike's heart. So that's why we brought him in on this, because we know that he's the expert. It's his favourite record label, Stiff Record. Yep. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just do a little bit of jukey pokery. There we go. So the way we're going to do it will be Mike will go first, Richard will go second, and I will go third. So,
okay.
So you start us off then, Mike, with your number 10.
Yeah. Well, as I'm starting, let's start at the very beginning then. My number 10 is the first release on Stiff Records, released on the 14th of August 1976. Catalogue number by one, and of course it's So It Goes by Nick Lowe. Absolutely brilliant record, and I mean the B-side, Heart of the City, is excellent as well. And you know this is just a great bit of rock and roll, really.
It is.
You know, it's not punky at all. But then again, you know, Stiff Records wasn't really going to be a punk record label, and I don't think it ever was. You know, as we'll probably find out, won't we? You know, sort of all the different stuff. But yeah, this was recorded at Pathway Studios, which is a grotty little place in London, and it cost £8 an hour apparently, and they recorded both sides in 3 hours. So they got the single done for £24.
Brilliant.
But Nick said it was damp and smelly in there, and he couldn't get the smell out of his clothes for weeks afterwards. But, you know, it's a great record. It's just Nick Lowe, and then there's Steve Goulding, who was the drummer with The Rumour, is the other musician on this. And, it's a great record, and that's my number 10.
I'm not going to say too much about that one.
Well, neither am I. I will talk a little bit about the B-side, though, because I'm going to choose the B-side over the A-side, but that's it. Well, my number 10 takes me back to 1983, even though I think this came out at the end of 82. It just reminds me of being 16, 17 years old. And it's a really good pop song by a band I think that were influenced by the Go-Go's. That's the Bell Stars, Sign of the Times. Number 3 hit at the start of 83. The catalogue number, I've written them all down, is by 167. So, just a really good song. Now, they did a song called The Clapping Song, which I cannot stand. I just do not like that song whatsoever. And I believe Nick actually bought that at the record fair. I went, But Sign of Times, really good sort of rhythmic guitar on it as well. And a very, very summery song. I always felt that it was maybe released a little bit too early. It should have held on till springtime for that to come out. But still did well. Number 3, that's my number 10.
Okay, my number 10 again is a Bellstars number. I don't know the record number because I didn't write it down, but it got to number 35 in 1982, and it's their version of Aiko Aiko.
I remember it well. I think it was Natasha that had the big hit with that in '82, because I was working in a record shop at that time, and we didn't have a copy of the Bellstars when we had Natasha. But decent enough song. Quite like it. Yeah, good choice.
Yeah. I mean, I picked up the Bellstars album at the record fair
You did?
a couple of weeks ago. So yeah. Two good choices. Right. We on to number 9 now then?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, my number 9, very, very famous man. Wasn't on Stiff for very long, but it's Elvis Costello. You know, like a lot of really great artists, he got his break on Stiff Records. The majors were doing great artists the real disservice around that time, and they couldn't get through the doors, and the A&R just didn't understand. But it's Elvis Costello, and it's his first single on Stiff. It's Alison 514, released on the 21st of May 1977. And it was recorded before the Attractions actually sort of formed as a band, and the band that back Elvis Costello on the single and also on the album My Aim Is True, a band called Clover, who went on to be Huey Lewis and the News. So it was a band, but Huey wasn't needed that day, so I think he got the day off when they recorded that with Elvis. But I think it's a great single.
What was the catalogue number again?
14.
That's the second single then, because
yeah. Is it the second one?
Yeah,
what was it?
And I'm going to tell you the first one, but it's by 11, and it's one of the numbers. Okay.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Well, my number 9, and I could have sworn until this week that I thought this was on the Vertigo label, because his previous couple of albums were on Vertigo label, and it's Graham Parker and Stupefaction by 52. Now it's on the up escalator, and I would put money on it that was Vertigo, and I went and checked last night, and it says Stiff on it, and I thought, good God, never realised it at all. But I think it's a really, really catchy little number. It's just a punchy little song. I know some of the E Street Band feature on that album as well, and Bruce Springsteen actually features on one track, I believe. But great song. Wasn't a hit, but Graham Parker. You think Nick Lowe was hard done by when it comes to chart success? Graham Parker was unbelievable. I think he had one top 30 single or something like that there. But great single, Richard. I bought 2 copies of it a couple of months ago. All right.
And I gave one to Nick.
No, I think that's the sort of thing Nick would like, actually.
Yeah.
Really good artist.
Before I go on to my number 9, we are having communication troubles over the pond. So if Richard keeps breaking up, that's why. So we'll just battle on. Okay, my number 9 is actually one we were talking about on the Thursday night, Mike.
Yeah.
We were talking about Joan and Louis, wasn't we?
We were.
And this is from 1980, number 16. You'll always find me in the kitchen at parties. And that's where you used to find me, because the kitchen was always the place to be. It's where all the booze was. And it's where it all happened. I just love that song. It was a bit different. I love the backing vocals. The girls sound great on it. And it sounds like Jonas sitting in it. It feels like he's in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Just watching what's going on in the kitchen. It's a wonderful song. It should have got in the top 10 for me, that song.
Yeah, I think it was great, and I think I said on Thursday night that he looks like a chartered accountant in the video.
Yes, it does. And you notice Kirsty MacColl on the Top of Pops appearances was one of the backing singers. If you watch the Top of Pops appearance, you'll see Kirsty as one of the two girls doing the backing vocals, although she doesn't do the vocals.
She doesn't, does she? No.
No, but she was about to do different performance, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's quite strange, actually, because Kirsty MacColl sort of very famously suffered outrageously from stage fright, didn't she?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. So to go on Top of the Pops, because Jonah needed the backing singers.
Maybe so, but she wasn't up front. There's a big difference.
Yeah. Maybe that's it, but yeah.
Yeah. But no, good choice. You nearly had it.
Yeah. Right. Number eight, a female singer. And this is a lady who, for me, she stole the show on the Stiff tour of 1978. So on the bill was Reckless Eric, Rachel Sweet, Jonah Louie, and Mickey Jopp, and Lena Lovitch. And Lena Lovitch, I think, she's often written off, isn't she, as a novelty act.
Mm.
But she was far more than that, proper singer, musician. And the song I've gone for is Say When, which is by 46, released in 1979, and it reached number 19 in the UK charts, and it was on her album Stateless.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just love Lena Lovitch.
I remember that on Top of the Pops.
And don't forget, also on Stateless was a to-be massive hit in the late 80s with I Think We're Alone Now. That's on Stateless as well. I think that was the single for Lena Lovitch too. Yeah, she always kind of reminded me of the looks of somebody like Tony Basil. A little bit. But yeah, good choice. My number 8 is Kirsty MacColl by 225, and it's He's on the Beach from 1985. It's got a similar vibe to A New England, but I'm not as big a fan of that song. And I just think it's so summery. It's about a guy goes off to Australia to do some work, and he's writing letters and all the rest saying how great it is over here, and she's jealous, blah, blah, blah. But it's such a really fun song, but it failed to chart. And I have it actually on 7-inch and 12-inch single. So Kirsty MacColl, He's on the Beach, my number 8.
Excellent choice. It won't be the last time we hear about Kirsty MacColl. So, okay, my number 8, you know me throwing some curveballs in. This is from 1981, that's number 6. And it's the one that starts off with the bass and the horses galloping, a little bit of tempo Tudor, and a sword of 1,000 men.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the thing about the knights and all that sort of thing. And, what a gimmick. Going on stage, dressed as knights and swords.
Oh, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I didn't use it, but it's brilliant.
Yeah. I saw him as well that was on the 3rd Stiff tour.
I think he'll be quite good,
Yeah.
He does like an acoustic set now, so he does, where he just goes out an acoustic guitar and sings all those songs. And those 2 tempo Judah albums are pretty damn good, especially.
Yeah, I've heard the first one because a friend of mine had it, and because everyone thought that sort of 1,000 Men was a bit of a novelty song, but when you listen to the album, there's nothing novel about that album. It's just it's a cross between post-punk, pub rock, and just rock and roll. It's nothing flashy, but it's got some good sound, and he's a good singer.
I think the album's called something like Eddie, Bob, Old Bob, Gary, Biggie McIntyre or something like that. Just lists all their names.
Right.
So
to number 7 then?
Yeah.
Right. So my number 7, a gentleman who was greatly influenced by Ian Dury, to be more precise, Killed in the High Roads. And this, of course, is Reckless Eric. And, you know, of all his songs, I had to go for the most well-known, which is Whole Wide World. It's a track that he'd written some years before. And he'd sent a cassette tape to, or in fact, he turned up at Stiff Records and gave them a cassette tape. And you know, this was one of the tracks that they decided that they really had to record. So it's another early Stiff single. It's by 16, and it went out on the 25th of August 1977. So it's produced by Nick Lowe and Ian Dury, and Nick Lowe also sort of performs on it, along with Steve Goulding, you know, the Rumour drummer again.
Yeah.
And you know, Eric, I think he didn't really sort of get as good a deal, I think, as a lot of people. I think he should have been a lot more famous than he actually was.
Yeah. The problem with him, I think, is his voice. I'm not going to say his voice is like Marmite, because Marmite is a 50-50. His voice is more like a fisherman's friend. 90% can't stand it and 10% like it. Do you know what I mean? And because he's a really, really good songwriter, and he's featured in my list as well. Not that song, but it's the voice that put people off, I think.
Yeah, maybe. He's the only performer to perform on 2 of the 3 Stiff tours. Yeah. He did the first one, and was it the first? No, the first and the second he did.
Yeah.
And I can remember on the first one that he seemed more intent on sort of chatting with the crowd than he was actually sort of playing songs.
Yeah, I know.
He's a great entertainer.
Yeah, really good. Right, my number 7, and you've mentioned her, but I'm going for the big hit, and it's Lena Lovitch, Lucky Number by 42. And if ever a song sold on is that, because that's what sold the song, with a little bit of a guitar riff after it.
Yeah.
But I love it there, love it now, so that's my number 7.
I'll not mention much about that. So we'll move on to my number 7, and it's already been mentioned. It was Mike's number 10. Nick Lowe, the very first one. And I'm not going to say too much about it, because Mike said everything is just a fantastic song. Mm-hmm. And it's off a very good album as well, isn't it? Jesus of Cool. So it's a great single from a great album.
Yeah.
They'll come to that shortly. Yeah. Right.
So we're on to number 6.
Yeah.
Nearly halfway. So I had to put this one in. It was a dead cert for me, and it's you know, allegedly the first UK punk single, beat the Pistols by about a month, I think. And of course, it's New Rose by the Damned.
Yeah.
And it's by 6, and it was the 22nd of October 1976. And on the B side is a Beatles cover. It's Help.
I didn't know that. Is that good?
It's different.
Right. Yeah.
Put it that way. It's very different. In fact, when I first heard it, I didn't even recognise it as being Help.
So that's a little bit like XTC doing All Along the Watchtower. You had no idea it was actually All Along the Watchtower.
Yeah, that's it. But it's a great record, of course.
I love it.
Written by Brian James, of course, and Nick Lowe again doing the production.
I wonder who produced it.
Really, where is Nick Lowe, doesn't he?
But you not notice there's quite a few songs that start with, "Is she really going out with him?" Because the Undertones did it with Girls Don't Like It, and I think the Shangri-Las did it with Leader of the Pack, and there must be a couple other ones. Right, my number 6 is So It Goes Again, Heart of the City. I'm going to talk about Heart of the City because this B-side only as you said, Mike, only featured Nick and Steve Goulding on drums. And it's the only studio version of it, because the live version, which I don't prefer, I prefer the studio, got on to the Jesus of Cool album. But the American version had the studio version, which is pure pop for now people. However, the interesting thing is that Dave Edmonds then took that live recording of Heart of the City, used the same recording, wiped Nick's vocals and put on his own and put it on his Tracks of Wax. So those two Heart of the Cities are exactly the same recording with the vocals changed. But I do prefer the studio version, and I'm putting it as my number 6 rather than Slow It Goes. So there you go.
Yeah, it's a good track. And I've heard both versions, and it doesn't matter who sings. It's just a great song. Okay, my number 6 is a bit of a memory for me. The first time I heard this was when I was in hospital, and I used to have after lights out, I had a little transistor, my headphones, and Annie Nightingale played it one night, and I thought it was brilliant. It got up to number 55 in the charts. It's Department S, Going Left Right. Absolute cracking. That start under the headphones. I'm listening to it on headphones. The first time I hear it, I'm getting that do in my headphones. Oh, wow. And I love that. And that's a single that I've never been able to find.
No, it's missing. It's missing from my collection as well.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a song.
Yeah.
Was it a hit?
Number 55.
55. Oh well.
Yeah. But of course it was. His Vic there was a hit, wasn't it?
That's correct. I remember that now.
Yeah.
But that's not on Stiff, is it?
No, they did it by then.
No. Well, there you go. Right, you're number 5, Mike.
My number 5, right? We're getting towards the big hitters now, and I've decided that I'm not going to repeat a band or an artist in my top 10.
Me too.
So a lot of these are just sort of making the choices that I've got to go for something for this band. This is from 1985, released on the 18th of March, 1985, and it's by 220, and it's the Pogues, and the track is A Pair of Brown Eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Only reached number 72 in the charts, but it's an absolutely wonderful track. I mean, of all the Pogues songs, not just the singles, I think that this is right up there as one of my all-time favourites. And the single was produced by Elvis Costello, and to say the least, Elvis Costello and Shane MacGowan did not get on.
Right. Okay.
But the bands ended up touring together, and apparently it was very fraught.
You see, Elvis Costello's wife, is it Caitlin O'Rourke or somebody? Was she in the Pogues?
Yeah, Caitlin.
Right.
Was, yeah. Because she sings on "I'm a Man You Don't Meet Every Day," isn't it? Yeah. Which is a lovely track. But but they, apparently Elvis and Shane did not get on.
Yes, I can understand now.
But I hear Elvis didn't get on with a lot of people as well. Well, my number.
Yeah.
My number 5, and this is the pop sensibility coming out on me. Nick actually showed this in your live stream. I love it. It's by 205. Not by 205, but BUY 205. And it's Tracy Ullman, Sunglasses, from 1984. That's my favourite Tracy Ullman single. And I love the video for it with not Rick Mail, no, Ian Edmondson in it. It's just a really, really good summary song. And the thing about this song is it's recorded really, really high. Even on CDs, it's really, really high. So it really hits hard whenever you play it. Love it. And it's just my number 5, number 18 in the charts, and their last decent sized hit.
Yeah. So that's a nice choice. I mean, Tracy really knows how to sing.
She does, you know.
Yeah.
She really does. Although, if somebody's having one song where she couldn't get the note, and they don't know, the way it goes, baby. That's actually Kirsty MacColl taken from her original single.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
They took it from the original single.
Okay, my number 5. It's a single that I acquired not very long ago, but it's one of my favourite songs by Elvis Costello, 1977, number 15. And the person that got it for me is the man nodding his head now. It's Watching the Detectives.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
He just knew. I think I've mentioned it a few times. So I love the song. It's my favourite Elvis Costello song by a long way for me. I love it.
Yeah, it's a great single, isn't it?
I'd just say we've all going to have Elvis Costello, and they're all different tracks.
That's good.
Yeah, that's excellent. Right, are we on to number 4 already?
Yeah.
Right, this next one is a bit of punk from Devon, or half the band are from Devon, and the cover of the single is both iconic and controversial, and it's the adverts, one called Wonders, and it's by 13, and it was released in 1977, and it was controversial because Gay, is a picture of a close-up of Gay Advert's face.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an absolutely brilliant photograph, and I think it kind of sums up punk rock, really.
Mm-hmm.
And but she didn't like it because, she didn't want to be in the spotlight, and she felt that she was being singled out, just because she was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And the band weren't too pleased either because it kind of looked a bit like they were doing a sort of a Blondie thing, that there's the woman in the band is the one everyone's come to see. But yeah. But I mean, they kind of sum up punk, don't they? In this in this song, one called Wonders, of course, written by T.V. Smith, and that thing, I wonder how we'll answer when you say we don't like you, go away, come back when you've learned to play.
Mm.
And it's a kind of DIY attitude. It's a sort of we don't care, we're having fun, and that's all that matters. So yeah, it's an absolutely fabulous punk single, and it had to be in my top 5, and it's there at number 4.
They're a band I know nothing about. I will put my hands up and say I do not know anything about the Adverts at all.
Yeah, well, very short-lived.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good song. I think when we did our punk thing, I think that was one of the songs that I sort of threw away. That it's in there now. Okay, it's you really, Richard.
Yes, you're jumping in this time. My number 4 is Mass Effect, and how could you choose one single by Madness? But if you had to choose one, I went for Baggy Trousers. So the number 3 hit from 1980. The video swayed it as well, with him being lifted up and playing the saxophone. Really, really good, catchy as hell. But I could have picked any other one. But for me, Baggy Trousers gets my number 4.
Yeah, it's lovely, and you mentioned the video, and I don't think there's been another band that has produced so many top-rate videos. Exactly. You want to watch the video for the video's sake, not just for the music.
Yeah,
I agree, but I won't say too much on that song for Mark because it'll come up a bit later. But my number 4 is the band that Mike's already mentioned, but I've mentioned another song. It's from 1977. It only got to number 52, but it's neat. It's in your face.
Yes, I nearly chose that. Meaning
The Damned and We Play Punk bang.
Yeah.
And we are better than the Clash.
Yeah.
And
I nearly went for that one, you know. I nearly
went for it as well. But don't forget that the band actually supported T-Rex in 1977. So they did. So on the Rainbow, the last was a CD release. Mark Bones, one of his last concerts. They come back on stage and do Get It On with them. So it's Mark, T-Rex and the Damned. And they do an 11-minute version of it. It's freaking awful, but still, it's nice to see the two of them together. So, and you pictures all over the place of bowling with Captain Sensible and Rat Skibbies and all the rest of them.
It's just a classic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Central song punk.
Yeah.
Into top 3 territory now.
We are. So we get into the really good stuff, and like Richard, I could have chosen any one of their singles. Really, it's madness, of course. But the one I've gone for is "Shut Up."
I really like that.
I love the video. I love the video, and I think the lyric when Sugg sings, I'm as honest as the day is long. The longer the daylight, the less I do wrong. It's absolutely inspired by, and it's just the whole video.
Yeah.
You've got Suggs dressed sometimes as a burglar and sometimes as a dodgy used car salesman.
Yeah.
And the rest of the band are sort of are like police officers, aren't they? Keystone Cops sort of coppers, and then I think a couple of times they appear as burglars, don't they? But also in this, the Dave Hill's guitar turns up in the video. Super Yob.
Super Yob, that's correct.
Yeah. Chris Foreman is sort of playing the guitar. It's only about 10 seconds, and the rest of the band are stood around him, sort of with their truncheons out, dressed as coppers. Yeah.
That's right.
But this was by 126, released on the 11th September 1981, and it made the top 10 like so many of Madness's songs. Number 7 it got to, and I could have chosen any one. A large number of Madness singles, but that's the one I went for, and that's my number 3.
Excellent choice, absolutely excellent. Well, my number 3's been mentioned. It's The Damned, New Rose by Six, and everything's been said about it. I think it's just fantastic. It really is. The guitar work is the first punk single, and it's really punky as well. But yeah, brilliant. So it's just my number 3. On to you, Ian.
Okay, my number 3, we've already mentioned it. It's the one that goes, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. I remember seeing that.
That sounded like Dracula's coffin being opened. So it does.
God, it was single throw, so that doesn't help. But no, I remember seeing that on Top of the Pops, and that was it.
Yeah. She was. I'm glad all 3 of us have laid a lovely chin there.
Yeah, I mean, in a hair with bits of rag in it and all sorts.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant, great state, and the guitarist, he was a big old bloke, weren't he, as well? So it was all good fun. Yeah.
Right.
Top 2s. Ooh.
Right, just missed out on the number 1 spot here, and it's another early Stiff single, and it might surprise you that it's my number 2, or maybe it won't. But I'm armed and dangerous. I prowl the streets at night because I'm a police car. Very
Wallace, yeah.
And I love the lyrics. There's a sort of the sense of menace, the sort of the cops on the streets, up to no good, ruining everybody's fun. Mm-hmm. And Larry released this in 1977. It's by 22, and he was in Bloodwind Pig for a while. He was in Pink Fairies. He was in Motorhead also.
Yes.
And the B-side of the single is On Parole.
Yes, because he played on that on the very first album, not that they released a few years later, but On Parole. He is the main man on that album.
Yeah, and of course, it was produced by Nick Lowe. Who else?
Of course.
Yeah, yeah. And when I saw Larry the one and only time on the first Stiff tour, Nick Lowe was playing guitar when Larry was singing this. So and there's a couple of members of Eddie and the Hot Rods.
All right.
Are on the single as well. Yeah, Paul Gray on the bass and Steve Nicol on the drums. And got absolutely nowhere in the charts, but I think it's become a bit of an iconic song now.
Yeah.
I think when people hear it, they think, yeah, that's really good.
It's on the live Stiffs album as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my number 2, Larry Wallace, and Police Car.
You were saying about being produced by Nick Lowe. There was some band, and I can't remember which one it was, but their slogan was always, for a while, the record is not produced by Nick Lowe. Just everything. My number 2, and Ian has already mentioned the band, but I'm choosing a different song, and it's by 129, a number 49 hit for Tempo Tudor and Throwing the Baby Out of the Bathwater, which I just think is such a great song. It's rockabilly or rockapunkabilly or whatever, but it's such a great song, and all the backing vocals singing in unison, really, really good, and I just think it's really uplifting, and it's my number 2, Throwing the Baby Out of the Bathwater.
Yeah, my number 2, a Madness song. Again, so many to choose from. Cardiac Arrest nearly made it. I love the tempo on that. Driving in my car is fun, but when it came down to it, it's Baggy Trousers. 18 again. So it was so popular at school. I just love the video. Is hilarious. It's a cartoony type video, and the kids seem to be having a whale at the time.
One of the reasons I like it is the kids at that time were about the same age as me. At that time, I was 14 at that time, so more or less the same age as me. So
that's it, isn't it, Richard? The madness are very relatable.
Yes, exactly.
It's very, very sort of English, and although it's sort of the whole thing is exaggerated. You can relate to the situation.
Exactly.
And baggy trousers. Sort of. All the kids have gone to fight the next door school. I think every school kid knows that you had your rivals up the road, didn't you?
Yeah. As much as I love heavy metal, I love Madness as well.
Yeah. But you mentioned Cardiac Arrest, and I think that was that was a great record. Cardiac Arrest missed out on top 10, and it's probably because of the subject matter.
Yeah, because I can remember Steve Wright complaining about the subject matter. That, I think, was the 3rd single from their 7 album, because it's the same album as Shut Up.
Yeah, that's right. It's in 7, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. And that's a great song as well. So number 1.
Number 1 time.
Number 1. Well, it's got to be. It's got to be there. The man, he could have been the ticket man at Fulham Broadway Station, but he chose to play the fool in a 6-piece band. And of course, it's Ian during the Blockheads, and it's What a Waste. And it's by 27, released in April 1978. Great B-side, Wake Up. And I chose this because, over sort of other Ian Dury songs, it's just because of the pure sort of virtuosity of the band. Chaz Jankel, Davy Payne, Norman Watt-Roy on the bass, Charlie Charles and John Turnbull, to make up the 6-piece band with Ian Dury. And it's just, the Blockheads, I think, were one of those bands that were just, you know, as musicians, they were kind of head and shoulders above so many other bands at that time. And yeah, absolutely love this. I've always loved this song, and it had to be my number one from the moment we decided we were going to do this. I thought, yeah, I know what's number one. It's What a Waste.
Yeah, good choice. Good choice.
I know it's a good choice. Well, will we have a trifecta with the same artist? Because I think it might be. Well,
It's looking that way, isn't it?
no, it's not. Actually, my number one, and I'm putting this guy on the top because he never gets on the top, and he deserves it. And it's Reckless Eric and Hit and Miss Judy, which I think is a fantastic pop song.
Yeah, great song.
I don't understand how that could not get in the charts. It's catchy as hell. It's perfect for 1979. I do understand. It's his voice. As I said before, his voice, you know, nobody really likes his voice, but the songwriting is so good. And it's one of those songs, if I play it in the car and the CD, I have to play it twice, 2 in a row. And brilliant track, and that's my number one. Reckless Eric, Miss Judy, 49.
Great choice. I've gone with Ian Jewelry as well. It was his number one hit from 1978, and I think you both know. I mean, I harp on about this song all the time. It's the brilliant "Hit Me With Your Rhythm Stick." It's Ian's vocal delivery in it. It's just superb, and then you've got the lovely saxophone, the weirdness of it, but it's got that shuffle on the drums as well. It's not punk. Although I consider it punk. It's a groove, and it's one of the best songs Ian Jewelry ever did in my book.
Yeah, it is good. I enjoyed it. It was very good. It deserved to be number one. Deserved to be your number one. At least we match with Hit. You have Hit Me With Your Other Stick, and I have Hit and Miss Judy. So two big hits there.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's time for Bubbling Unders.
Yeah.
How many have you got, Mike?
Well, I've limited it to 5, but you know, I could have just sort of listed the Madness singles, I think.
Yeah.
But I didn't. So, do you want me to go through the lot?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, another Ian Jury song, "Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll" by 17, 1977. Wasn't a hit, and it kind of sums up 1977 to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, it's almost an anthem, you know, and yeah, absolutely brilliant song. My next one, 1979 by 47, and it's Kirsty MacColl and They Don't Know.
Yeah, and that's good. Excellent.
Yeah. So the second Madness single I went for, actually been mentioned twice already, Baggy Trousers.
Mm-hmm.
1980 hit, and you know the video there could have been, could have been one of the others, but I went for Baggy Trousers. Another one that's been mentioned already is the Bell Stars, and this is Sign of the Times.
Mm-hmm.
1982, and finally another Pogues single, another one that didn't do anything sort of chart wise, and that's her Sally McLennan, released in 1985.
I don't know that one.
Yeah. So that's my 5 bubbling under.
Brilliant stuff.
Well, I have 3, but since you're doing doubles, I'm going to add 2 more to make it 5 of artists that I previously had. So the first one is Elvis Costello, and this is his debut single. It's Less Than Zero by 11 from his first album. Really like it. And that's the one that he was supposed to play on Saturday Night Live. And then he started it and then said, fuck this, and saw this for it. Went into radio, and then he got banned from ever performing again. The next one is one I've only recently heard, and it's actually through looking research for this. I have just been bowled over by a song, and Louis and Louise, We Get It Right. Louise, Louise, I love you, Louise. I think it's fantastic. Didn't chart. Another one, and it's an old glam act on Stiff, and it's actually a gospel song, but I think it's really good. And it's Alvin Stardust and Wonderful Time Up There, which I think is really, really catchy. I'm going to add in two more. So I'm going to put in another Tracy Ullman one, and it's Move Over Darling, which I think is a fantastic version of the Doris Day track, and a brilliant, brilliant video. And we'll finish again with Reckless Eric, and we'll go with Take the Cash, Take the KISH.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Those are my five.
Wow, I love how he says that.
Yeah. Definitely felt the K, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, my bubbly numbers. I've got 5. My first one is Kirsty McCall. They Don't Know, and I love Tracy Ullman's version of it as well.
I prefer Tracy Ullman's, believe it or not.
Yeah,
That's the first one I've heard about it.
Next one is a Rachel Sweet track. Baby, Let's Play House. I think that is stompy, fun track, and her vocal on that just,
Is that the old Elvis number? Is that the old Elvis Presley number?
Yeah, Baby, Let's Play House. Yeah, she really gives it a thing. From 1979. Didn't chart. Surprise, surprise. Okay, my next one. Now, I know this song on a different label, but when I was doing research, I didn't realise they'd recorded it. It's the Go-Go's.
All right.
We Got the Beat. Now,
right, yes, okay. Yes.
1980, they first recorded it on Stiff Records, so I'd never heard it because obviously I've heard the one off the album.
Yeah.
So I went on YouTube and I found it, and boy, is it good. It's so much better. It's got more grit. I don't know if it's the way they recorded it or the way that, who knows? Nick Nomad produced it. He's produced everything.
Probably.
It's a better, heavier. It's not poppy, and I love that. Okay, my next one is a song by The Rumour, but it's a cover of a Manfred Mann song, My Little Red Book. The Rumour, love that track.
Yeah.
And my last one is another track that I heard on John Peel, and it's got that rock pile connection. It's Billy Bremner, Loud Music in Cars. I absolutely love that song.
Yeah, I know. He was brilliant, Billy Bremner, and he was a fantastic midfielder for Leeds United as well.
He was hard as nails as well.
Yeah.
This guy, he played on Rock Pile and has played with Nick and Dave, and he played with the Pretenders as well for a little while.
Yeah.
So that was my, I just love that.
Also, if you watch the Top of the Pops performance, there's a guy who works down in the chip shop, swears he's Elvis. He's standing there playing away.
All right. Didn't know. Yeah. Can I mention somebody else then? Because I was absolutely certain that one of you would have mentioned this person.
Go on then.
And it's Rachel Sweet.
I did.
Oh, you did, didn't you? Of course you did, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, you did. Yeah, I was going to say Baby, yeah.
Rachel Sweet.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't have been paying attention, could I?
Anyway, I really enjoyed this, having a trip down memory lane on some great singles from our youth, basically.
Yeah.
So it leaves me one thing, and Richard's got to get this right today.
Oh, God, right. Right, I think so.
Okay, it's goodbye for me.
That's goodbye from them.
Oh, well done, sir.
Well done. Well done, mate. Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching, and we do apologise about the communication into Northern Ireland. It's them hills.
Yeah. So it's all Richard's fault. Yeah.
I know I was going to say that. Hold on a wee minute. We haven't discussed this.
Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you all soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.